Hey guys, gonna do a flashlight review here, or at least try my hand at them, see how it goes. And I figured what better way to do one than start off with the one that I have the most use with, which is the 4Sevens Preon one. This is a single AAA light, which uses the Cree XPG R5 emitter, which in my experience has been a really good emitter for this light. It gives it good run time and brightness and everything like that. Just starting off with some specs, this is just shy of 3 inches long. It's 2.95 and is just over half an inch wide. It's 0.55 inches wide. Without the battery in it, it's just over half an ounce, and with the battery in it, it's just under half an ounce. Of course, if you use a lithium AAA, which I believe I have in here, it is less than it would be with an alkaline, just due to the battery technology, as well as the brightness will be increased, and the runtime, I don't know if the runtime's the same, but in my experience, it appears like it's a little bit brighter, at least, on lithium AAAs. If nothing else, then it's definitely lighter. And it seems to last just a little bit longer at the very least. I mean, I haven't really noticed or kept that good of a record on how long each battery lasts. I've only really run probably less than 5 batteries through this in its entire use. Like probably 2 just standard alkaline AAAs, and then I ran through 1 lithium, and I think, yeah, this is a fresh one that I put in just a little while ago. But it's, you know, still at its full brightness. Let's see. The clip on it is a pretty good clip. As you can see, mine's pretty worn down. That's just from all the use that this has seen, you know, being clipped to my pocket, brushing into things, being used. As you can see, it's got some scratch marks on the, this isn't really the tail cap, it's sort of just the end cap. It's not a switch. You can get switches for these though, which I've seen. They look like they're alright. I haven't tried them out. Probably should do that at some point. And as you can see, just around the bezel, it is a little bit scratched too. But all in all, I think this finish is held up great. And I'll talk more to that in just a second. Right now, we're still on the clip. Yeah, this clip, some people have had their complaints about it, saying it doesn't retain well enough. But in my experiences, this is retained just fine. It's probably only fallen out of my pocket once. That was probably due to me just doing physical stuff that, you know, anything would fall out of your pocket. I will say that it will definitely slide up on you a little bit, but usually it catches the seam, and it stops like around here, and usually, I mean, you can feel it when that happens. You just push it back down. It's not a big deal, and that only happens rarely. So that hasn't been an issue. And honestly, if you don't like the pocket clip, you can take it off, put the little keyring thing on, and just slip it in your pocket. You won't know it's there until you really need it, which is always great. Okay, so the finish is, it almost feels slightly rubberized, the anodizing on this. It's a really nice finish. It's not too glossy, doesn't show fingerprints at all, like, you know, some things that are too glossy do that, but this one's great. And as you can see, for over a year of use, it's held up pretty good. I think they've improved the finish on these actually from the very first I don't want to say prototype, but the very first version of these. I think this is an updated version. I mean, they put the logo a little bit different. It's up here. The old ones have it kind of across here. Yeah, so there's that. I will say that this isn't the best light for one-handed use. I mean, you can do it, but switching between modes is a little clumsy. It's definitely easier to use the two-handed light operation. I mean, you can do any way you want. You can hold this part and twist the head, hold this part and twist the body. I usually kind of do both, just opposite directions. That usually gets me to what I need. Speaking of mode selection, this does have hidden modes, which the 4Sevens lights do. It goes from low, medium, high, and you have to cycle through those twice before you get to the strobe, SOS, and beacon modes. you have to do this a little bit quickly. I mean, it's not obscenely quickly, like, you don't have to be like, alright, really quick. You can do it, I mean, like, I'll show you just like that, and yeah, so you got strobe, SOS, beacon high, low, and there's low one. The beacon, what happens is it flashes kind of quick for, I think it's 5 flashes, and then it goes once every 10, either on high or low. Obviously you'll get better run times on low. Speaking of run times and outputs, the low mode on this, which is this, you will get 1.8 lumens for 23 hours. Medium is 8.5 lumens for 6 hours, and high is 70 lumens for 0.8 hours or 48 minutes. Obviously, like I said, with the lithium, it'll probably be brighter. Honestly, I have a hard time believing, just 8.5 lumens from medium. I mean, that's really all you need. That'll tackle most things, honestly, unless you really need a lot of light or you really need a little bit of light. I find myself using medium quite a bit. Conserves battery pretty well, and it lights up things adequately, especially with the reflector on this being an orange peel, which is good for flood. So they did a really good job. I'll see if that'll focus there. Yeah, you can see the stippling on there on the reflector, which we all know as orange peel. It's not too aggressive, it's not too smooth, it's just right. The strobe modes, the hidden modes, the strobe will last you 1.6 hours. I believe that's on full brightness. And just going off the runtime, I'm guessing that the on and off periods are the same for the strobe, so it's like, I mean, probably a tenth of a second on, tenth of a second off, and it keeps going between the two. Maybe even faster, probably faster. The strobe, yeah, okay. SOS will last you pretty much 2.5 hours, which, I mean, how often do you use SOS? I don't know, but it's good to know it's there and that it'll last you quite a while. The beacon on high will last you 8 hours, and the beacon on low will last you 40 hours, which is plenty of time if you want to use this sort of as a little, like it is a beacon, just set on its tail, shining into something, and you need to mark off a location. You can find that very easily in the dark. So I think they did a really good job on that. One thing I will talk about is the proofing on this. It's IPX8 standards, which is really good. If I recall, I don't want to say this at the risk of being wrong, but when I read it, it made it seem like that was one of the better ways, if not the best way, the best rating for a flashlight, especially of this size. I don't recall offhand how deep you can go with this light, but I will say that I have just, when I'm at a friend's house, just for the, fun of it, just bring a flashlight and you can dive to the bottom of the pool, kind of look around at night. It's kind of fun. I have gone into lakes with this, jumped down. I dropped, actually the camera that I'm filming this on, I dropped it into the water down in Newport, and I went down and I had to look for it amongst the rocks, which wasn't a big deal. This made it really easy, shining around. Of course it stung like hell to open my eyes underwater in the salt, but that's not part of this review. Yeah. As you can see, those are just the little logo markings on it. I think I've covered everything there is to really cover about this light. Also, just a side note, I really like the 4Sevens logo. I think it's really cool. That little almost lightning bolt in the middle between the 4 and the 7. I don't know. I just think that's cool. Anyway, yeah. So this is definitely my favorite AAA light that I've ever had. I have had the Streamlight MicroStream very briefly before I gave it to someone as a gift. In my opinion, this beats that, even though it doesn't have a tail switch. Honestly, I think you don't really need tail switches on lights this big. The only thing I could see it being an advantage for is if the threading starts to wear off and you get little mode skipping issues. But other than that, honestly, I've had this for a year. The threads on this still work great. It turns on just as it reaches the end of its threading, and it's so smooth. You really don't need a tail switch unless you obviously prefer it. It will give you more length. I do believe they are waterproof. They have sort of a metal housing on the cap. maybe I'll probably end up getting one actually now that I'm thinking about it, just to try it out. Alright, so I think I've covered everything. All in all, it's a good quality light. I got this for, I think it was like $30 when I got it last year, which was a lot for me at the time for a flashlight, but I most definitely am not disappointed by this. This is my, this is just, I've taken this thing everywhere. I always make a point to bring it with me on trips because it's just small, and I always like having it as an option. Yeah, you can't go wrong with it. 4Sevens Preon. They do make an updated version of this with the XPG2, which is 20% brighter, so I think you get like 84 lumens, plus 20% more on each mode, while maintaining the same run times. So, who knows, maybe I'll check that out if I have a spare couple $30, I don't know. Probably not actually. I mean, I'll keep this one just because it's my buddy. It's my good flashlight. I like it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope these flashlight reviews kind of go well. I'm going to try to do a couple of these on the EDC lights, you know, the Meritech, 4Sevens, Mini AA, and the Meritech AAA, which, you know, this thing's grown on me a little bit. Kind of like it. It's very light. Anyway, it's not this review. So, for the 5th time, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of whatever time you're watching this time.